la sinsinang isang mala tisum delek ta tari resa nima ani sechu 진당아베 세바추라 신울 henzo ki koti wala the Washington DC langzo kebe legi chere the ari ki sinzi Donald Trump kana la ya do ngi chere no be kola linglong nanglo nang lan legi shi ani thigela onzo kebe legi chi penangsha mondela duye ta tanda chizu sumda chegaresha pegela shiba joshla onzo diore jije langor on pegel dai ani sinishura na laso
Hours later. 제 산에 positional 행동이 토토 loksan스를라네 대링기 레고다 제베 모두 수행한 교 허랑제
회랑제
허랑제 장마이 자마페네 파주시 지도 건대 장외 전부 부지 지도네 지도 건대 템바쇼 회결로 아니 동마델라 주민라는 왜 우치 지도 건대 장외 전부 쇼 다 디노신디 현자라진 파라 무슨 구바촌 그 고자 도망원도 당외기 토네 안게다 첩책 그 예갑다 미리기 체도 아니 랑기 체베 루소 용조 노동당 얘기 계제 파워도 파모 디노신 타다 제일 중간 나라 나르제 체매 용도 용신배기 여기 첩시 전바 남기 거기 제수 챔베토 동생 냠지 자 아니 넘버 링게 창매기 킨세레 더리 대응하죠 뉴욕다 뉴저시 산에 벽이 신을 현조기 고디기 와라 산에 신을 현조기 다와딱자라 체주리구라니 다와딱자기 체니 주니가 가지고 체주리구 배기오래 안 개인기 가지고 체주리구 쟁 20바디 차디오래 진당가백이 체 주로와 진짜 인상 알아서 줄에 네 딩에라 더 문구에라 가지고 디토로 고두 쉬체 다 체주리고 쟁 20바디 다 알아서 산에 신우기 알아서 로니 레구데 두스마 가서 레유데 두스마 장두요래 아니 가지고 가리가리 채워서 가리가리 난 것도 가지고 고두 랍더 dimba 쉬네 다 딩인가 다 갈라오래 답답 뒤네 지나가면 나올라 담자 아리기 신지 도널드 트럼프 아니 자나라 안 개갑님기 바르라 계책이 내두에 구두 아니 직 총다 대외기 구두 아니 딘데기 계책부 구두 망구직 나에게 체도 무슨 아리 신지 바 자나도 배기오라 대다 답뒤는 아주 뒤즈에디 담진기 안 다리 대가 산에 쉬는 거네 대 디실라지 조구도 짜고도 대짜니 자나 슝잡부 되라 뭐그 개배다 학바도 자나기 되라 진배기 님베시주 되기 최다 리슈 게 공시 아니 그 미리 제바 아니 삼에 동에기 님베시주 카드도 최도 참조 제고도 얘기 최도 뭐그 개배다 학바도 아니 아리기 센지 초 다탄다 나와디기 산이는 라고라다 다기기 나올라 탄다 자나도 페게 두스 쿠겐 케베게 내가 넘버 2 켄도 중요해 근데도 한다 남주기 다들 내주 드리고 싶은 거 하고 들어 근데 인자 남주 내려 보여 저리 고도 돈다 조니디 가르쳐고는 당보대 계시주디 아니 아리 신지 초 근데 자나라 페게 여자 아니 자나라 페베 값도 아니 개갑니기 펜준기 총대다 디나신기 계책이 내도 망부지 토라 구두 장세다 구두 난거래 대다 첩지 계책주직 그게 내다 리코드 인지민지 많이 해봐 쟤네 니기 토라 인지민지 고두 계책배 토네 고두 nembo 고두 띵사고 사보 nembo 난고도 슬라니 야 부구 쉬에게 채도 먼저 내가 잘래 그린 내도 계시야 직디래 된다인자 니기 채도 나라도 선에 쉬는 뭐냐 가자키니 니만 니스키 녀라 아니 슈이치게 인지 돌아가서 슈에체 디 아니 딱돌아 두스마 불람 슈이시 딱돌아 부와 디기 모슈치 만주기 뉴팅기 돌아 아니 신지 초다 신지 샴바니기 쳔돌아 두만주 퓨차래 아니 다 이게 디 모슈치 만주 잘이요 디 다른데 퓨투베게 가서 퓨투답기 만주기 탑시 슈기 와 디체 아니 내들 니와 계체 직나바서 캔세레다 아리 개가 프랑스에 톱니다. 알로 니자 맞주디 다 링윈 코르고래 와 근데 인자 대다 첩직 말한서 범위 창맥이 뭐네 즉 아리랑제 톱에기 계제기 루주랑신게 니모 대랑 가지고 참지 주거다 아니 아리 돕진 개갑기 다 로망 뭐네 다 지금 지금 굽주기 공다 페제 노안에 다 만주 베베기 식 갈아오래 금이 망고 직 잡에 죽숨 가와 가서는 내내베 시자 tunju jar 망고지 두스낭 요래 대마제 그기 아니 탑주기 돌아야 개갑 수다 만다베기 믹스에기 자나라 직송 매베기 토네 만주로 잡죠 망고치 나와 마제 아니 아리기 갈아오다 저조기 나라 팀다 디시 아니 디나신기 망고지 템베 두스낭도가 중요해라 자나라 개가 원에 직송 매베 토네 동네 나 요래 두주는 간주기 이랑 앞주도 투지체 잡직 수액의 체도 들이대차래 자르 내다도 차디어래 안 디나신 간데 자나 슈자기 들라 된다 잠마고 들라 아니 간주기 말아줘 돼 그봐 산에 가와도 슈고였나 잡에 죽숨 속아 직직에 유도 가와슈나 그랑제 탑지 제디 제메 남녀 제메 만주 무투니 탑지 슈기 있 된다 잠마고기 자나가 민베시주 직 망고지 땡네 계시주 군주기 벽이 게다 리숨 디나시 미리고라 자매기 땅에 채도 직 남바주 캔세레 아니 직 니자 차tum버데 자들럽다 두스마 고투니 아니 벽이 롭로스라 마스 로시라 스라 마스 부두 싸움 망고 땡게라 군주기 자밀롭살라 파 주체 디 쟁기 티체 아니 부두줄라 부이다 먼저 그게 게이다 리쇼 장에게 고갑 가야 매베 통에 잠마 마르게 따와 코는 납치라 그 분미 부두든도 쟁기 아니 자라 주에게 체도 딘den에 베시주 띵요래 남바주 캔세 차디요래 디기 강라 아니 예베차 근데 진짜 순백이 체 중립이 봐 그게 딘데지기 강 토라 아니 직 미리 둔지라니 딘데게 팀기 땜백 체니 다그 미리 다 리쇼 게리 속바다 미리 고라 자매 땅에게 체도라 다 팀기 때문에 체네 뒤에 별미리 지구 많이 봐 자나디 나와 정원나 단다 열심히게 아니 당요미리 망고지어라 디 상마 자매 땅에 체도 상마 잘을 주려게 체도 군수기 다 팀나 때문에 체네 근데 아니 팀사도 때문에 체여라 디랑아 저게 타지도 고고요 디랑 고고요 디랑 원래 상황인데 메스 디 체도 참조 제고요 디 참조 제에게 체도 아니 흉소주백이 지게기 아니 갈아오다 흉대 많이 거 촉박하 상내기 자나라 너슈 대구구도 자나기 참조 제고구도선 현재 내가 둔주기 체도 다리 대가지고 레바다 두스네단 차데레 아니 얘기 망고 슈기메라 내가 넘버주 캔세레 망체어라 근데 이제 얘기 대라 참샤베 토네 아니 다디 전에 중잡 둘인자 인지기 토라 간다 지기요 딩아 데 알아서 중재 초라디 인지 토라마디 대체 주로 슈기 라세 딘데징이 퍼랑제 장마이 장마편에 파주시 회gel로
소들라 도체 아니 데림시바 동도 뉴욕 뉴저지 산미토 쇼는 센서기 총체 계산 좀 말라네 모두 드링기 모두 치르고 레림지다 레고기 모두디 인지 나로지 송그래
Tashi Delek Samalo. Today marks our 28th monthly Sechu Legu. We, the Regional Tibetan Youth Congress of New York and New Jersey, executive members, with more than 70 of our community members, we have traveled all the way from New York City to Washington, D.C. with pride, gratitude, determination, and responsibility. We came here for two important reasons. First, to congratulate the United States of America on the historic celebration of 250 years of independence, a nation founded upon liberty, democracy, justice, and human dignity. Second, we respectfully appeal to the President of the United States to raise the issue of Tibet during this upcoming visit and meeting with the President of China. On behalf of Regional Tibetan Youth Congress, New York and New Jersey, and our Tibetan community, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to the government and the people of the United States of America. In the early 1990s, through the Tibetan Resettlement Project, America opened not only its doors, but also its heart to the Tibetan refugees. Because of this historic humanitarian support, thousands of Tibetans were able to rebuild their lives in safety, dignity, and in freedom. Today, America has become our second home to many of our Tibetan community and Tibetan people. Our children have received an opportunity and a life here in America. Our elders have found safety. Our culture have survived in freedom. For this, we, the Tibetan people, will always remain grateful to the American people and the government. As America approaches its 250th anniversary of independence, we proudly congratulate this great democratic nation that continues to inspire the world through its commitment to the freedom, human rights, and justice. We also sincerely thank members of both houses of Congress, senators, representatives, assembly members, and all American people and advocates who courageously stood with Tibet, and spoke for those whose voices were silenced under oppression. At a time when many governments hesitate to challenge China, the United States continued to raise its voice for truth, religious freedom, and for human dignity. We deeply appreciate many of the important bills, resolutions, and laws passed in support of Tibet and the Tibetan people. America is a true champion of democracy and defenders of justice. So friends, as we travel from New York City to Washington, D.C. today, our message is urgent, emotional, and clear. When the President of the United States meets the President of China in the coming days, Tibet must not be forgotten. The current situation inside Tibet is extremely critical. Under the so-called ethnic unity law, the Chinese government is aggressively targeting Tibetans' identity and attempting to erase the unique identity of Tibetans and other minority communities. Thousands of Tibetan children are being forcibly separated from their families and placed into a colonial boarding schools where Tibetan language, culture, and religion are restricted or suppressed. Instead of learning their own history and identity, Tibetan children are being taught Chinese political ideology in an attempt to turn Tibetans into Chinese in the name of assimilation. A whole generation is being raised away from its roots, language, religion, and national identity. This is not unity. This is a forced assimilation. This is a cultural destruction and genocide. We also strongly condemn China's interference in the Tibetan Buddhism and its attempt to control the sacred reincarnation system of the Tibetan spiritual leaders. No communist government has the moral or spiritual authority to decide the future reincarnation of the Tibetan Buddhist leaders. Hands off to His Holiness the Dalai Lama's reincarnation. Hands off the Tibetan Buddhism. Today, we once again demand the immediate release of the 11th Panchen Lama, Gendu Choge Nyima, along with his parents and teacher, and also release all the political prisoners. Since being abducted by the Chinese authorities at the age of 6, he has remained disappeared from the world for more than 3 decades. His disappearance remains one of the longest unresolved cases of enforced disappearance in modern history. We also call the immediate release of all Tibetan political prisoners suffering inside the Chinese prisons without fair trials or basic human rights. Friends, Tibet is not important only for Tibetans. Tibet is important for Asia. Tibet is important for the entire world. Tibet is known as the water tower of Asia, the source of major rivers that provide water to nearly 2 billion people. Tibet's environment directly affects a global climate stability. Tibet's geopolitical location is vital to peace and security across Asia. Tibet's spiritual and cultural heritage carries the universal message of compassion, non-violence, peace, and harmony. A free and peaceful Tibet benefits not only Tibetans, it benefits the humanity. So that is why international support, and especially United States support, is extremely important at this critical moment in history. Today, we stand here peacefully but firmly to thank America, to congratulate America on its 250th anniversary, and to appeal for the continued support for Tibet and the Tibetan people. As history remembers, those who stand on the side of truth and justice, until Tibet is free, until Tibetan children can learn their own language freely, until the Panchen Lama returns home, until Tibetans regain their dignity, freedom, and rights, our struggle will continue. Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Pegalo!
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 계산 좀 올라 그치 근데 지금 나버리 당초 캠프 포지션이 안 남는 거
Long live the Panchen Lama! 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 Release the Panchen Lama now! Release the Panchen Lama now! Free Tibet, China out! Free Tibet, China out! Free Tibet, China out! Free Tibet, China out! China out of Tibet now! China out of Tibet now! Tibet belongs to Tibetans! Tibet belongs to Tibetans! Tibet was never part of China! Tibet was never part of China! Stop the killings in Tibet! Stop the genocide in Tibet! Stop the genocide in Tibet! Liar, liar, Chinese government! Liar, liar, Chinese government! Stop lying to the world! Stop lying to the world! China lies, people die! China lies, people die! China lies, Tibetans die! China lies, Tibetans die! Allow the media in Tibet! Allow the media in Tibet! Stop the killings! Tibet, China out! China out of Tibet now! China out of Tibet now! Tibet belongs to Tibetans! Tibet belongs to Tibetans! Tibet was never part of China!
Tibet was never part of China.
Tibet was never part of China!
Tibet was never part of China.
Stop the killings! killings in Tibet.
Stop the killings in Tibet.
Stop the tortures in Tibet.
Stop the tortures in Tibet.
Stop the murders in Tibet.
Stop the murders in Tibet. Die.
Release the political prisoners now.
Release the political prisoners now.
China lies, Tibetans die.
China lies, Tibetans die.
Liar, liar, Chinese government.
Liar, liar, Chinese government.
Stop lying to the world.
Stop lying to the world.
Liar, liar, Chinese government.
Liar, liar, Chinese government.
Stop lying to
China.
Shame on China.
Shame on China.
Liar, liar, Chinese government.
Liar, liar, Chinese government.
Liar, liar, Chinese government.
Liar, liar, Chinese government.
Stop lying to the world.
Stop lying to the world.
China. Change the name of Tibet.
China won't change the name of Tibet.
Tibet is Tibet, not a Xizang.
Tibet is Tibet, not a Xinjiang.
Free Tibet, China out.
Free Tibet, China out.
Free Tibet.
Stop the genocide in Tibet.
Free Tibet, China out.
Free Tibet, China out.
Free speech in Tibet.
Free speech in Tibet.
Human rights in Tibet.
Human rights in Tibet.
Language rights in Tibet.
Language rights in Tibet.
Religious freedom in Tibet.
Religious freedom in Tibet.
We want justice.
We want justice.
드린 게 드린 게 이거 그때 연구가 지금 당시 소시지
그렇잖아. 안에 다니요 뉴저지 안에 베이지 단속이 유네다 소미 아니 잡교나 그래 소도 임바 상문로 연구 디토리아 페블 퓨체 아니 직진이 인지 시작하면서 Thank you, New Jersey, New York, Tibetan Youth Congress, its leaders, members, associates, and friends across the Tibetan community. You guys have been a permanent feature at this spot and in front of Washington, D.C.'s Capitol, the monument, the White House. Just to try to recall how many times many of you have been part of this. But unfortunately, because of circumstances beyond our control, our movement has taken a lag recently. I'm sure you guys are the witness of how much you guys have done over here. And especially now, as for this, I'm very grateful to you guys for organizing this very, very special event. It's not simply a protest. This represents the Tibetan community's commitment to democracy, self-rule, human rights, and as the first generation of Tibetan Americans, we also share a responsibility for this country. Of course, at the core of our back, the issue of Tibet will never slide away, never die, never burn. It's only a matter of time. The Tibetan issue has to be a generational thing. We don't have to look far because most of us were born in Tibet and grew in India. We know how long the Indian freedom struggle lasts, over 200 years, right? And we are just 65 plus. So we shouldn't really be losing our heart. This message of Tibetan freedom struggle, irrespective of the attention that we are getting from politicized leadership and countries, because of the economic power, the senseless, inhuman economic power of China, the world is going to them. It's unfortunate, but we will relentlessly keep on fighting. And what a better place than always continue this event in here, in front of the Chinese embassy, forever. Now this event, unlike other Tibetan protests which are exclusive to Tibetan issues, Yes, we're in the fresh air of America's 250th independence. It looks as if America is a very young country, although history takes back thousands of years. So, this event, which is part of your regular event, on top of your monthly 10th of every month activity, has boiled down to this thing as President Trump is about to launch his yet another meeting with Xi Jinping. But I don't know things, anything happen or not happen under Trump. As of now, we all know he will be there within days. But sometimes things change. So let's hope and see what Trump does. In any case, I would like to say, because of my living experience with American leadership, that despite Chinese pressure internationally, it is still number one enemy of the United States. It is the economy and the trade and related issues which are pulling them aside for the welfare of millions of people across the globe. But otherwise, especially politically, there's no similarity. There's a huge gap between the East and West, especially between Beijing and Washington, D.C. So I'm really fervently praying. That's all we can do now. That's our own power, the power of spiritual truth and energy. Let's really hope that your visit here will be taken care of President Trump as he embarks on another visit. And although they will be focusing on the political issues, the economic relations, and the ongoing war in Europe and other issues, but everybody knows China is dependent on America, and America is also dependent to China in many ways. That's the reality. But I hope that let's White House here today, that when the two leaders meet, of course, Xi Jinping will never say about Tibet. If anything, they might say, you must be careful with Tibetan exiles. That's the only possibility. Let's hope that Trump will speak out and defend the peace-loving leadership of the Dalai Lama worldwide, and how he will acknowledge the growing generation of thousands of Tibetan Americans in this country, including here. Let us also not forget that in this country, we only have two political parties, and the fight is very severe. There's no one comes in the middle, because unlike India, where we have so many political parties, so many coalitions, that's how things get done. But in America, it's the Democrats, the Republicans, there's no third party. That's our experience shows that this country needs a third force, the independence, or something else. We sincerely hope, these two parties have been struggling all the time, just as what's happening in our Tibetan parliament. All gossips and criticizing each other as if they are a bunch of enemies meeting over dinner. So this is really, unfortunate in America also. We always had internal fighting over budget, over trade, human rights, violence, and killing innocent people and deportation of innocent people. So I won't be long because of my long experience here, I've not given up my hope for Tibet. Tibet will be free. Maybe not in my lifetime, but hopefully in the life of some of you. Things will change, that's for sure. It's only a matter of time. So we should always keep our struggle alone. And finally, I will say the importance of the Tibetan community's unity. TUIC has to be the only one from 1970 when it was established. It is the binding force of the Tibetan community in exile. And it is still continuing, despite some frictions, which is very common to society, based on your own creed and culture and religion, and yoga and children, all this. All this is, very minor. Don't take them seriously. As young people, sometimes we get discouraged. there's religious friction, religious friction, and there's friction between Umelam and Rangsen. All the aim is for the cause of Tibet. Some, thoughtful, peaceful method, some force. So we need both peace and force. Peace will never succeed without force. Force alone will destroy peace. So there's always in Tibetan we have Shige Onga. 3 words: peace, victory, valor, and famous. All things come together. So once again, I'm very happy. Thank you all for coming and taking this journey. It is not easy, I know. Today is a wonderful day. So let's hope that this will be a success. And finally, I will say TYC should really not only keep its long-time commitment for the independence of Tibet, but it's high time that I think, I'm saying this for the first time now. I thought this also now. I never knew that if I get a chance to speak. But I thought if I speak, I said, we need a political party now. All the Choga and Shillong infighting. Tibetan Youth Congress, when we were in the leadership, we proposed that Tiwa leadership should be there for the common cause as welfare, doing these wonderful things, But we suggested there should be a political wing of the Tibetan Youth Congress. Somehow it didn't work. But something happened. You all know we don't hear much now. The Democratic Party of Tibet, there's a small party we try to establish, but somehow it's not successful. So I think, as you continue your efforts, you should also try to how to energize Tibetan Youth Congress. Not only as a, common leadership for the people, but we need a political unit of Tibetan Youth Congress, which will fight for the seats in Tibetan Parliament, and which will challenge the peaceful efforts by the Tibetan community, which is not working. That doesn't mean we are criticizing Umela Massacre. It's a grand cause. It's something that only religious people can do. But common people cannot rely on that. We need force. So I certainly hope, you guys will do something that we want the political party for Tibet. So when the next elections come, we will nominate either volunteers or nominated by people like you, who will send a couple of cities for a political party which is to fight for its independence. I hope this makes sense to you guys. And I thank you again for this opportunity. I'm delighted. I will always come to you. But unfortunately, because of the way our struggle is going on, Tibetan activities, demonstrations, hunger strikes, are they all gone now? It's rare, it's becoming rare. And I'm really feeling very sad about it. So you guys are keeping this alive. You are the most populous in the city and in the United States, and I hope that you will continue. So finally, let's hope that our struggle for political independence will outweigh everything and we will finally lead to Tibet. And I'm praying someday, just as in the beginning there were many uprisings in Tibet, we hope that inside Tibet, the real initiation must come from Tibet, like the burning of the flame must begin in Tibet, and we will keep it flaming outside the world. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. Once again, thanks for this, organizing this Tibetan community inside in Tibet, and also I will be in the heart grateful. They cannot in here, but they are there in their mind. And I hope that this will spread. So please continue the good work. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity. Great yellow! Great yellow! Great yellow! Great yellow! Ramsey! 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 Zongmayi! Ramsey! Zongmayi! Ramsey! Zongmayi! Ramsey! Zongmayi! Thank you.
게 까마 겨줄라 토치 쉬어이 아니 단다 창마기 단다 센요레 게라기 깔록 소시 돈데 만나서 창마기 센요레 다가 셈나 제체 아니 다 모두데 자도 생일에 다나 슈무 수행일에 상막이 와 나라도 벽이 탑주들이 못해니 줘야지다니 먼저기 레고 끝나래 소바 셴바들이 여러 고저기 레고 끝나 상막이 레고 끝나 예바도 요로 나서 염슈 나로나 나부터 뭐서 페마도 와 너무 배주 돈는 염슈 나가 요리 야 탑시 탑럼 셰인 귀체 남 염슈 나가 요리 송장 모두 도스 칼라우다 야메 자오지 당 장장 자오지 마샤체 상막이 예바도 다 드린 레고 남기도 상막 예바도 용로 셰서리 나 키랑도 로바들을 슈에 용로 와 카셰들도 칼라우 다 소속이 그다 중주라도 줍셔나 아니 야메 당기도 없다 대대 만나가 쳐봐 못 삼았다 다나 내당 자라 체로 두도 송장 상막이 아니 예바도 모두 벽이 탑소리에 딱 나와서 벽이 대배 탑소리 벽 나와서 차도 송장 대치도 예바도 아니 상막이 염수 나오는 나서 어디 쉬어야 거 안타도 모두 게임에 못는 주기 Long live the Dalai Lama!
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 Tibet circle yoba phala jo an phagala ta bondu shuba na shi re so legu la na so phagala kebi gyare an ta na shi so shudo gi ige mangbo chi rodi phagai gi ta sani mimang so ta mere odi chi nanga anti phadala so da so tc gi ta sani shunu yoba kora so de nyingong gi shala de to thari na yore ta so ta da shwe de tri mo so de ke ba number tenge samala ani tuji shes da shwe tanda jela juptu gi so 내림 쪽이 다 나오도 봐 주변 설걸 지이 안타다 데 참모 패수 아니 다 넘버 저 망보지 드린 공세를 이면 가시지도 다 내가 내 공부 쉬제 비율이 아무도 데다 까미게 솔라 두 비율이 우리 산에네 아니 산에 디시니야 셴바들에게 패샤 안 참말 퇴치 다 쉬어이 아디 동도 단다 데 넘버 저 킹이다 데는 데 종체가 아무도 방금 칠 다 이바스와 하발라 주기 안 참말 퇴치